lots of money. There's a lot of money.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
For the most part.
For Anthony Joshua, he is arguably the most marketable boxer. Everybody wants to fight him.
Yeah.
And you know, in as much as Alexander Usyk does have the belt in his kitty, Joshua seems to, you know, have those box office fights, those pay-per-views, and that is why there seems to be a lot of interest when it comes to where the fight will be hosted. The municipality stadium is also being touted to host the fight.
Yeah.
Not forgetting Wembley Stadium. When Joshua fought Daniel Dubois, of course, 98,000 fans, you know, were in the stadium.
Yeah.
So much stakes is involved. Everybody wants to, you know, see this fight happen. But is it going to happen? I hope to see it happen, because for Anthony Joshua, you know, considering what he faced, you know, losing his two close friends in a ghastly motor accident, and coming back fighting the YouTuber, you know, Jake Paul, and now I would like him to come back victorious and cover his face in glory. You know, initially I thought what happened to him would make him leave boxing, but since he has that mental toughness and he wants to give it a shot, according to what he has said, he said he's fighting for his friends and brothers. So I hope to see Joshua on the victorious side if this fight sees the light of day. Patrick.
All right, interesting one right there. Well said, well analyzed. From there now, let's talk tennis, where leading tennis players will expand their prize money protest at Wimbledon despite a 20% increase in this year's pot. And of course, just so you know, some players limited pre-tournament media to 15 minutes at the recent French Open, but will go a step further at Wimbledon. They'll not only limit the time they offer at the forthcoming media weekend, but are also planning to restrict post-match appearances to 15 minutes throughout the first week of the championship, which starts on Monday. The 15 minutes limit is meant to symbolize the 15% of revenue which, broadly speaking, the Grand Slam allocates to prize money. Representatives of the players say the decision was taken following detailed consultation with players across both events. So in Paris, women's world #1 Arina Sabalenka cut short her pre-tournament press conference, while players like Yannick Sinner and Igor Swiatek also followed their walk to rule directive, said it is surprised and disappointed by the move. Earlier this month, the players welcomed Wimbledon's 20% increase as a genuine and significant step forward. The players issued a statement describing the announcement as a meaningful statement of intent, while also pointing out it still does not equate to the 16% of tournament revenue they are requesting from all Grand Slams this very year. You know, the total prize fund at this year's championship will be £64.2 million, following the largest annual increase in events history. The singles champions will each take home £3.6 million, with the first round losers paid about £80,000. But the overall fund is still around £7 million, short of what the players had been hoping for. And so this controversy going into the Wimbledon, which starts on Monday, Michel Dagogo, of course, we're looking forward to that very event. Wimbledon, a huge event, the players protesting and all, several top players also in the conversation for this one. It's really worrisome, going into this one. Players' welfare, you can't emphasize its importance, but when you have the organizer saying they are disappointed by this move, what does that really mean?
Well, they shouldn't be disappointed. Why do I say so? The French Open, Roland Garros, they had to come up with an agreement, a consensus among themselves that they will be, you know, making just a 15 minutes appearance when it comes to media interviews, to give to kind of replicate what they are giving to their seats. It's for your record, it's for your glory, and whatever finance these players are demanding for is not far-fetched, because they are the real actors in this sport. So they are saying that the 20% is not even okay. Wimbledon saw the protest they did during Roland Garros and have increased it to 20%. They are still saying they are not satisfied. She spoke, she was not really happy. So it is what it is. they need more enumerations. They need their welfare to be prioritized because tennis is a strenuous sport.
Yeah.
It's even more strenuous than football. Football, yeah, I think so, because you see some games go 5 hours.
All having a conversation that was sometime last year with Precious Achunwo, an NBA player.
Yeah.
He talked about all of these. He says when it comes to contracts, renewals and all of that, that was sometime this time last year. He said, you know, a player's contract is key. Like, this is when it's the only time you get to hold, you know, the teams and all of that to ransom. Like, for the most part, you know, because once you sign, you're in. So players' welfare is really key. Yeah. So, well, the organizers Wimbledon saying, well, that is disappointed by the players' move to boycott some press conferences or reduce the time and all of that. Oh, well, I think all they need to do is come to a consensus and ensure that, you know, they keep things running smoothly. Of course, interesting time on to football for the one of time. The winner, and then lasted only 57 minutes in the defeat to Mexico. You know, he had the fewest touches in South Korea starters in both of those games, and manager Myung-bo made the bold yet increasingly understandable decision to bench him against South Africa, ending a run of 12 consecutive World Cup starts. It's a problem right now, Michelle, for this side, South Korea. Son Heung-min, I mean, his days in the Premier League is shown like a million stars for Tottenham Hotspur, but since he left the Prem, there seems to be a drop in his performance and all of that expectation towards. And we're looking at the Mundial, he's yet to ignite. South Korea now needing to wait until the results elsewhere go their way to finish as one of the best top place teams in the tournament. Is there a possible chance for the side? Are they overly reliant on that man Son Heung-min?
Well, you cannot, you know, look down on Son Heung-min with what he has been able to achieve for the South Korean, you know, and at Tottenham Hotspur, where he was before he moved out, you know, he covered his face in glory, which this is why, you know, he happens to be their most important player based on stats, based on achievements and what have you. So most of the time, teams build their formations around their marquee players, and the onus, you know, is normally on them to deliver. So it's not far-fetched. Even the likes of Spain, we also had the fired blanks when Yamin Ramal did not play against Cabo Verde. You saw what happened. So we were thinking that they would qualify. I never even expected that Bafana, you know, would be making it for the very first time to the knockout stages, considering what happened, you know, during the build-up to the tournament and in the tournament so far. Yeah. In the sense that, you know, we saw how Rowan Williams, their goalkeeper, came out to decry lack of support from the African continent, and we all knew or know what happened. You know, the reported xenophobic attacks on Nigerians particularly and some other African countries. So that is why Africans did not support them, even because when I saw their spirited performance in their last match against when they played the 1-1 draw against they played the 1-1 draw coming into this game. I never expected that they would get a draw, and they missed their man Tabo Mokoena. He was not there. The coach of the side, Hugo Bruce, you know, had to tweak his formation 4-3-3 since, you know, Mokoena is not there. He got 2 yellow cards, and of course, what a time for Hugo Bruce. He has made history for himself. You know, he went to the World Cup as a player in 1986, and now, you know, as a coach, he has written his name in the positive folklore of football history in South Africa, being the first coach to take them to, you know, the knockout stages, unprecedented. So it is what it is. They were able to defy the odds, and like I said, you know, when it comes to football, you don't know where it's going to crack. So congratulations to the South Africans. For the South Koreans, it's just unfortunate for them. They no longer have their destiny in their hands. You know, looking for what will happen elsewhere might backfire.
Okay.
So it's not it's a 50-50 chance. If it's they qualify as one of the best third place teams, good for them.
All right.
But I really like the fact that they have really done so well,
Okay.
representing the Asian continent. Two-time champions when it comes to the Asian football, and what a time to also have them. They have a lot of players in their setup, so they can hope and pray.
One thing is to say your prayers, it's just another to do your homework. And with that, we will move on to another development where Guillermo Ochoa appeared at a record 6th World Cup, and 17-year-old Gilberto Mora shown as the youngest player to start in the competition for 24 years. As co-host, Mexico eliminated Czech Republic with a third consecutive win in Group A. Of course, it was quite a cagey affair for the most part of that one. Mexico were, already through as group winners after beating South Africa. And South Korea both continued their feel-good factor with a 3-0 victory thanks to second-half goals from Mateo Chavez, Olian Quinones, and of course Alvaro Fiodago in a party-out atmosphere at Estaca.
But I think so far so good. The introduction of 48 teams at the World Cup has really made it worthwhile. At some point, I was not too happy about it. I was skeptical about it, but it has, because I was like, it will push some uneven nations.
Oh,
Heavyweights against underdogs, or the scoreline might just be, too much to bear. But what do I know?
Yeah,
we've seen surprises, and for the host nations, USA, Mexico, and Canada, what a time for them, unprecedented. 3 of them, for the very first time the World Cup is being co-hosted by 3 nations, have made it, to the round of 32. And it's all good for them. For the Mexicans, it's looking like they are going to be making more euros, because sometimes when you host a tournament, and a lot of people might not really have that opportunity to go see the tournament, but when you progress, more fans, more interest, and it's looking like whosoever they meet, be it England, whosoever, they will give them a run for their money.
Okay, now let's talk about some other results where 2 late goals and Morocco had fought 4-2 win against Haiti in their final World Cup Group C game, which saw them finish as runners-up. What do you make of that very encounter? Michel Dagogo, Haiti twice led in Atlanta, including a stunning hit from Sunderland's Wilson Isi. Interesting game it was of football. For the North African side, they've done really well for themselves at this tournament.
Absolutely. The Atlas Lions of Morocco, they have done so well. And if there's any African team that I can beat my chest and nod my head, that will be going very far in the tournament, Morocco. Because we also how they were able to hold the 5-time champions, record winners of the World Cup, Brazil. A stalemate. They played a 1-1 draw, and look at how they were able to beat Scotland. And against Haiti, coming from 2 goals down, tells you that they have that mental toughness, and they're also one of the teams that play good football. And Isidore, wonderful goal from him. And of course, Akraf Hakimi scored. And one man that has really, been doing so well for himself is Ismail Sabari.
Sabari has done well.
Sabari, he has scored 3 goals.
That's a record, equally Asamoah Gyan's record. As an African player to score 3 goals at the FIFA World Cup,
absolutely. So, the Moroccans, they don't really play like Africans.
One of time. Before we leave here, let's tell you that Scotland face a nervous wait to end their World Cup 2026 fate after they were beaten 3-0 by the Seleção of Brazil. Steve Clarke's side knew a draw would guarantee qualification beyond the group stage at a major finals for the first time, but their mistakes were thread. What do you make of this performance? Seleção of Brazil, they were criticized after that first game against Morocco. And then now they were able to pick up their pieces. Vinicius Junior scoring and helping the side. Matheus Cunha was also on target. What's your assessment of the team's performance in less than